So a surprise rumour popped up last night. Philippe Mateta. We might be interested in him for 43 million. Mateta, he was in my fantasy Premier League team a fair bit last season. Let's see if he's a viable option for Liverpool. Liverpool could be set for a shock swoop for Crystal Palace striker Philippe Mateta after reports from France suggested the two parties met in Paris. So Hugo Ekitike and Alexander Isak have both been on our shortlist, but Alexander Isak, Newcastle do not want to sell him, and Hugo Ekitike, Newcastle want to buy him. So we may miss out on both. And in that case, is Mateta a good option? Well, he scored 14 goals for Palace last season, and in a season which Palace did really well, those 14 goals aren't great, really. You want a 20-goal season striker, but he did have time out injured, and I wonder if his 14 goals pro rata would have been 20 goals across the season if he had remained fit. Mateta is seen as a cheaper option and could move for around 50 million euros, which is 43 million pounds, although French reports have him as much as 52 million, so between 40 and 50 million. And this, while making sense in my head, breaks my heart really. We're looking to move on from Darwin Núñez this summer. Does Darwin Núñez also have a place in your heart? Do you have a soft spot for him, or are you done with all those wild misses, crazy shots, chaos that Núñez used to bring? He was incredibly calm and composed in that friendly. Is that just a one-off, or is that a new Darwin now? He's shaved his head, a reverse Samson. We may not get to find out because he's probably on the way out. Darwin out, Mateta in. Would you be happy with that? Let me know in the comments. Liverpool make shot contact for 52 million Man United target. Several exits are likely to bounce the books before they make further additions, with Darwin Núñez on his way out, Luis Diaz agitating for a move, determined to leave Liverpool even though we say we're not interested in selling him. Our hand may be forced at some point, and Harvey Elliott looking like he's just surplus to Arne Slot's requirements, and for his benefit, similar to Núñez, actually needs that move away. And of course we sold Jarell Konsa, which I think was a mistake. Konate ends up pushing for a move, pushing real hard, and we have to let him go. And we're down to just Van Dijk and Gomez. Liverpool have linked with several potential replacements for Núñez, with Isak and Ekitike moved to his options. We've talked about that. But with each player costing over 85 million, Isak reportedly somewhere between 120 and 150, Liverpool could turn to an alternative, a much cheaper option in Mateta. So he's 28, and we don't typically go for players who are at the peak, at their prime age, or exiting it. We tend to go for younger so we can have them as they move into their prime, and then sell them at their prime if we have to let them go. Crystal Palace, who could be tempted to sell him, should view this interest favourably. Liverpool will nevertheless have to go on the offensive quickly, since Man United is a candidate for Mateta's signature. Well, you have to assume that unless Mateta has any strong feelings towards Man United, like he was a schoolboy fan, he grew up supporting the Devils, that he would pick Liverpool over United. Do you want Mateta? To be honest, I would probably be a little bit underwhelmed. I'm not that excited by him. I do think he's a good player, and at times he looks excellent. He looks elite at times, like a real handful, but he can also go a little bit missing in games. I don't know, I'm not that excited. If we got him though, of course we'd support him and we'd wish him the best and hope that the players around him could bring the best out of him. Salah, Wirtz, Gakpo on the left, since I'm kind of mentally preparing myself for Luis Diaz to leave. Alright, here's the thing. This channel's just been going for a little over a month. I want to keep growing. I want to do this all the time, every single day, dropping new videos, multiple videos a day. I can only do that if the channel continues to grow. And the only way that will happen is if you like, comment, and subscribe. So please get involved, support the channel, help this grow, and I'll repay you by doing as many videos as I can. And when the new season starts, doing match reactions, player reviews, everything I can think of. So please subscribe, like, and comment, help me out. I'll speak to you very soon. Bye bye.